Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Megger and the Spherical family part 2. We are going to wait a minute to the rest of the attendees to join us. So it will be only a couple of seconds and we will start. Thank you very much. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the East and Southern Africa Digital Relay Protection Conference. Last Monday, we celebrated the first part of this conference. So first of all, we wanted to thank you, all of you, for your attendance, for your questions, and you will be contacted as soon as possible with the answers. Today, we are going to start with the part 2, led by Stefan Larsson, Technical Product Manager for Relay Protection Testing, also based in Megger, Sweden, to talk about the Spherical family. And next Friday, we are going to talk about the SMRT family, led by Mario Spitzer, Technical Product Manager for Relay Protection Testing from Megger US. Today, as well, I'd like to introduce Daniel Salate. He is the Sales Director for Africa, India, and Middle East. Hi, Daniel. I hand over to you to tell us how Megger is organized in Africa and the support we give to our customers.
Yes, thank you so much, Silvia, and welcome to everybody on my behalf. I have seen in LinkedIn that Andrea has been challenging some of you with the word local. And, you know, there were even some people who believe that this is a typo error, which is not the case. You know, there is a saying indicating that think global and act local. So the word local is basically a combination of the two words global and local. And my intention in the next 2-3 minutes is just to explain to you what is the Megger global organization and how do we tear it down to the local access to our customers in South and Southern Africa. So Megger as a multinational company has different manufacturing sites spread all over some continents, or continents, I should say. And as such, you know, even in today's digitized world with all the virtual meetings, we still need a local access to our customers, somebody who is doing the groundwork. And that's the part from my presentation. So I'm a Swiss national being based in Switzerland and being responsible for Megger sales in Africa, India, and into the Middle East. Now, how does our local setup looks like? Can you press twice, please, Silvia? Thanks. So on the left-hand side, you see Alan Goodson, who is our regional sales manager. He's based in Durban, South Africa, and taking care for all sales-related matters within Africa, or South and Southern Africa, I should say. 2 more hits, please. Then on the right-hand side, we have Nathaniel Folscher. He's our application specialist. And since we are selling technical equipment, you know, it's of biggest importance for our customers that they can take all the benefit offered by the features from each individual equipment. And this is the responsibility from Nathaniel, that after you have been purchasing the equipment, that he's liaising with you either virtually or in person and giving you a dedicated training for the purchased equipment. Next one, please. Then on the ground, our local partners, and those are used, for day-to-day interaction with our customers in close relation with Alan and Nathaniel, and of course with myself. So you first see on the left-hand side Coast to Coast Technologies, which is one of our local partners in South Africa. And on the right-hand side, you see SearchTech, which is another mega partner being based in South Africa and taking care for the business there. There on the lower side, you see Amotesh Africa. It's a company based in Kenya and taking care for Kenya and some of the East African countries within Southern Africa. And last, but for sure not least, is Quasar. They are based in the Indian Ocean and taking care for the business for Megger and on behalf of Megger for Mauritius and for the Seychelles. Now that was just a quick introduction into Megger and our regional organization, and I'm coming to an end. Thank you so much for your time, and have fun and pleasure with the webinar today, led by Stefan. So I'm giving back to Silvia. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And at the end of this presentation, you will see the contact details of our Megger office and official partners as well. Also, it's important for you to know where is Megger looking forward in the protection area. So for this purpose, Niklas Wetterstrand, our Business Development Director for Protection and Transformer, will explain us. When you want, Niklas.
Okay, thank you, Silvia, and good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, I guess, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining this second second part of this relay conference. So I will just spend a few minutes talking a little bit of where we are heading and so on. So you can start with first, there you go, with the smart grid. So smart grid is of course a word that more or less everybody in our industry have heard, and building the smart grid, you can say, if you press one more, Silvia. We have words or buzzwords, communication, digital substations, self-healing, renewable energy, and so on and so forth. Communication has been common, of course, in the transmission for a long time, but now this intelligent decision-making is going down in the voltage levels, which means or creates some challenges. Today, we're going to look into one product family more targeting the distribution level, and in particular, very well suited for distributed generation. One more, Silvia. The focus areas within this has been for smart grid application for Megger is and has been for a while smart grid and the digital substation. And that part we're going to talk. We heard about that a bit in the Monday session, and we'll see more in the Friday session. And today we're going to dig in more into the distributed generation, renewable energy part. And as you can see at the lower right, we do have on our website parts which are talking a lot to these areas and what supportive documents and products we have to have solutions for different tests in that perspective. Next slide, please. And one more, there you go. Megger talked about organization locally in a sales perspective, but we are also influencing and working with the industry in many different ways. And this slide will talk a little bit to that. If you look into standards and committees, we do have Megger personnel that works in these or attends these committees, and from IEC, IEEE, NITA, SIGRE, and so on and so forth, which means that we are both driving the standards, what's next in them, so to speak, but also listening into what other challenges there are from mainly OEMs and main utilities, which are also participating in this. And OEMs we work, of course, directly with as well. major ones, I just mentioned a few, and you are of course aware of all of them. We do cooperate closely to improve the tests and what we can do for the industry in general. Next, please. Last but not least, transmission system operators and distribution network owners. There we also have type correlation, and this is just mention a few in the region you're from, and also in other regions all over the world. So we worked close together with them, of course, to develop and make testing more efficient in all aspects. So with that said, just making sure that you know that Megger is a great partner for testing, and I will hand over to Sylvia again, and thank you all for participating today.
Thank you very much, Niklas. So we can start now with the part 2, Megger and the Spherical family by Stefan Larsson. Stefan has a large experience in relay protection. He has an electrotechnical engineer degree from 1984, Västerås, Sweden, 9 years on ABB as relay and control equipment designer, as well as commissioning engineering and as a sales engineer too. Also, he has 17 years on Schneider Electric, with 11 years as product manager of protection relays and 6 years as product manager of medium voltage equipment, plus 11 years with Megger Sweden as product manager of protection tests. I'm Silvia Paulino, the Marketing Operations Manager for Europe and Africa, and I will be acting as the moderator in this presentation. I will be supporting you on any technical issues and questions you could have for our presenter. On the right side of your screen, you will see a control panel that it looks similar to this one. So you can submit questions at any time during the presentation by typing in the box highlighted in red. And I will read the questions at the end of the presentation in our Q&A section. This meeting is going to be recorded, so you will receive a copy of this webinar to see it again or to share it with your colleagues. The following is the agenda with the topics that Stefan is going to talk about today. Spherical 700, 900, single-phase, three-phase relay testing possibilities, the power of manual testing, Spherical 900 and relay testing related to smart grid, beyond relay testing, CT and BT testing, Spherical viewer for simple test reporting, technical documentations, papers, application notes available, training, remote training, and support. In this occasion, we want to thank you for your attendance and for your interest as well. So if you participated in the 3 sessions of this conference, or at least in 2 of them, part 2 and part 3, you will be entered as a special prize draw we have for you. So register in part 3. I will include this link on our comments chat once we start the webinar. So don't miss this opportunity, because you can win a multimeter AVO 835 and a thermal camera TC3231 to detect warning stages in your assets with Megger products. Said that, I think right now is the time. So Stefan, thank you very much in advance to be here, and I pass the control over to you.
Okay.
Yes,
I hope
we
you can hear
yes.
me.
Yes, we can.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sweden, where we are manufacturing the Spherical family, which I'm going to speak about today. and I will share my screen. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes.
Presentation, okay, good. So I will do, as Cecilia was telling, I will do the part 2 presentation. Cecilia also was telling that don't forget to be in the session number 3 with my colleague in Dallas, Marius Pitzer, when he's speaking about the SMRT family, which are manufactured in Dallas. So I will speak about the Spherical family, the relay test sets, which we are manufacturing here in Danderyd in Stockholm. And actually the Spherical was the product which we was starting with, the native product from the very beginning of our company here in Sweden. So it's really the core product which we are manufacturing here in Sweden. And I will start to speak about the one-phase Spherical, the Spherical 780 and the Spherical 750, which are used for testing substation, and it's not only for testing relay relay equipment, it's also used for doing other things in the substation. So that's why we are calling it for the toolbox for the complete substation. And with the Spherical 780 and 750, you have, of course, a current output, and it's only one current output, which is used for doing injection, and it's high amplitudes, and also it can give up to 250 amps, and also it have very good power, so we can go up to 800 VA in power. It is used for doing secondary injection, but also it could be used for doing primary injection. Also, it could be used for doing the injection in the switchgear for testing current transformers, for example, the current outputs, to test the ratio and so on current transformers. Also, it could be used for testing, for example, line impedance on a cable. So you have a lot of opportunities with the Spherical 700 series. It have also 4 voltage outputs. 2 is AC, and 2 of this is DC outputs. And this is also for doing injection, secondary relays, but also to do injection in the switchgear, in the current transformer, for example, to do current, to test the current transformer magnetization curve, for example, to find out the voltage knee point, or to test the voltage transformer, the ratio, for example. So it's a lot of things you can do with this outputs, current and voltage from the Spherical 750. Also, it have an ammeter and a voltmeter, and these meters are completely independent from the test set. They can also make the calculation in between these 2 analog inputs. So you can have the phase angle in between the ammeter and voltmeter, or the power factor, impedance, and power measurements. So it's not only unit where you can inject current and voltage, you can also do the measurements. It's like a multimeter. And of course, you have the timer to do the timing test when you're testing the relays. Or if you would like to do timing on some other product, that's possible by starting of contact sense and stopping on contact sense, or voltage sense. That's possible to set. So together with the Spherical 700 series, we have also a PC software, the Spherical Wind, which is used to control the Spherical from a PC, and also, you can, if you use that, you can get printed reports if you don't want to write the results from the test you have done. And then we have the Spherical 900, and that is also a substation toolbox with a lot of key features to test the complete substation. It have also the ammeter and the voltmeter, equal as we have in the Spherical 700 series, which can do also measurement like phase angle in between these analog inputs and power factor and so on. We have also timers to do the timing of relays, for example, when testing relays. And we have also the current output. But here is the biggest difference. Here you have the possibility to inject free currents to do free phase injection. But the very unique thing with the Spherical 900 is that we have jumpers, so it's very easy to make a connection and to run the Spherical 900 in single mode. And then you can inject higher current when you, for example, connect all the free currents in parallel. Also, we have the output for voltage, and the voltage output is the same there. You have possible to inject free phase from the voltage output, and actually we have 4 voltage output on Spherical 900, and they are possible to use individual. And then you can set the Spherical 900 in single phase mode, connect them in serial connection or in parallel connection with the jumpers, and then you can get also very high in the amplitudes, or you get a lot of power from this when they are running together. So that's a very, very big advantage with Spherical 900, which are actually a unique thing if we compare with the other three-phase relay test sets. It's very simple to do the connection with the jumpers. So the Spherical family could be used for a lot of things. You can do wiring checks, you can check SCADA, signal generation, primary injection, phase angle measurements, polarity direction tests, and on the CT and VTs, burden measurement test on CTs, CT and VT ratio test, and also current testing the current transformer excitation. But of course, you can use it for test protection relays. So it's covering a lot, and that's very important. And if we come into testing protection relays, it's one thing to remember with the Spherical family that they can cover a very wide range of relay protections with different hardware. And it's very important because the Spherical have a lot of power, and they are designed to be able to inject in a very heavy duty load from different protections. For example, electromechanical relays have very high inductive load, which are non-linear. Sometimes they could be very heavy for the relay test set to do the injections. And we have static relays, high resistive loads, numerical relays. There it is low resistive load, but sometimes it could be very low current, and you need to have high accuracy. That's Spherical also possible to work with. Also, we have the self-powered relays, which are actually making quite big problem when you're coming with the relay test sets, because you need a lot of power, but that is not only sufficient always, because they are causing a heavy interference on the current circuit, especially when the relay test sets is have the transistor switching technology. this could face a lot of problem. But the Sphericals can be used for testing this kind of relays, and they are designed for that. So we have a very wide range of to do the current injection with the Spherical, and we could go very high in the amplitudes, but we can go also very low in the amplitude with high accuracy. And one main thing why the users appreciate the Spherical is that it is very user friendly to work with. Actually, the training is not needed. It's very innovative, and you can do the test with high speed. You're using the user is saving time, so it's a good feeling. It's like driving a car, few settings to set before running the test with direct response. And in the network, a lot of things are changing. So more and more the renewable energy power plants are coming, the wind power, photovoltaic power, wave power, etc. And they have the storage system with stored batteries. It could be home, and it could be in companies, and it could be at the public utilities network, for example. Also, we have the vehicle to grid coming, the V2G, and when the vehicle are not used, they are feeding the network with the power from the batteries. So it's a lot of change in this area. So it's coming more and more to have small plants, mini power plants, like distributed power plants. And with that, it's coming more and more that we need to have smart grids. So we need to have, in some small power stations, we don't even have batteries. So that will require very often self-power relays. And in the smart grids and in the distributed power plants, they are required very often the frequency protection, over frequency, under frequency, and the rate of change of frequency, rock-off protection. And that we have taken care of in the development of Spherical 900 for the future and in the past. And actually, I was visiting a windmill park 3 weeks ago. It was very scary standing 128 meters over the ground, but it was very interesting to see how the windmill was working and the technology, and also to see the high voltage part with the switchgear. And actually, they are doing maintenance of the high voltage part every 5th year. And in this case, when I was visiting this windmill, they was doing the test with the Spherical. So it was working very fine, and then nice to see, and a good experience for me. So last year we improved the current generators on Spherical 900, and that's the improvement is the Spherical 900 Mark II. And with that improvement, we get more power. So it's capable to test all the range of the relay protection, from electromechanical relays to modern self relays. Especially we have taken care in the development to be able to test all the self-powered relays and the problem and the difficulties they have to test. We have also increased accuracy at low current. So it's possible to test sophisticated numerical relays and other secondary test objects with which require a very low current injection. Also, we add one feature we call continuous current mode. It's valuable and convenient injection to control of the current. Also in Spherical 900 we have some special feature, and actually Spherical 900 were the first on the market to test according to the new IEC standard. So the new frequency protection standard according to IEC was launched in February 2019, and it's really special, valuable for renewable energy market and smart grids. As we know, they have a lot of frequency protection. Also, last year we was releasing the last software, and it's the version 2.14 in Spherical 900. And this new function, the new function was multiple timing test with reference curve in pre-fault fault in the pre-fault fault instrument. And also we have several minor software updates in the release. So a short overview of Spherical 900. So Spherical 900, it's a toolbox for the substation, a free phase for doing free phase testing. It have free current and 4 voltage. It's a standalone functionality. It's rugged and reliable for field use. And when you generate, you can generate up to 900 volt in voltage and up to 105 amps in current when you have the Spherical connected in the single phase mode. Could be used for doing primary injection, in this case when you're in single phase mode. So, and also if you're in individual mode, you can maybe use for doing secondary injection in the relay to test free phase wise the relay test instrument. So it's used for doing secondary and primary testing in the substation, covering a lot of tests. Also, the Spherical 900 have actually 3 models. You have the basic one, and you have the standard model, and you have the expert model. And in the basic model, we have 2 instruments. So actually what you see here is the touch screen on the Spherical 900, and the symbol for the main menu is here, and the pre-fault fault instrument is here. So this is the 2 instruments you will have if you have a basic instrument. And if you have a standard model, you will add the ramp instrument and the sequencer, and also the CT magnetization instrument, which is used to test the current transformer, the magnetization curve, and find out the voltage knee point. And also we have the last one, the expert model. In this we have all the instrument, and that also include the impedance instrument. So this instrument is to be used when testing, for example, distance protections and these kind of things. I will now do a live demo for you, and I'm just wondering a little bit, do you see my presentation and my screen, or do you only see me?
Yes.
Do you see the presentation?
Yes.
My screen.
And,
yes.
And
okay.
the Spherical screen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, and the Spherical screen. So actually, I will make a demo for you. I don't know. I hope you see also my camera a little bit, because I have actually a Spherical running here beside me. It's on now, and I shall try to move a little bit like this. So I have the Spherical here. You can see the screen in the webinar presentation, and I will do some live demos here. So I will start to show how broad the Spherical 900 is and the Spherical family is. I will start to show you to make current CT magnetization test, current transformer magnetization test to find out the the voltage knee point on the current transformer, which I have here beside me. And I go on so you can see my screen, and I have a very small spot here, but I hope you see that black square. So now when I will do the test of yeah, actually you can see all the six instrument is here. Here you have the file manager, and here you have the system configuration where you set the data, time, and so on. And also language, the general settings when you first receive the Spherical 900. And also here you have the settings of the generator. If you would like to go to single mode and connect the voltage or current output in parallel or series, then you are going to this symbol. In this case, I'm already connected, so I will show you to start with using the CT magnetization instrument. So I click there, and the Spherical 900 will tell me how to connect, and now we are using only the voltage output, and they shall be used in parallel connection. So I have actually made this connection already. Maybe it's difficult for you to see, but it's here connected. So I have made all the connection. Then I continue, and actually I can run in automatic mode and in manual mode. If I run in manual mode, I turn the knob here, but I will run it in automatic mode. Then I click here on the symbol, it says auto, and then I'm ready to go. So I press the play button, and then it starts to inject the voltage secondary in the current transformer, and it fast calculate where the knee point are. When it's going back, it's doing a more detailed calculation to find the voltage knee point. So now he do the demagnetization of the current transformer, and then we will see, yeah, yes, now it's ready, and we get the result here. We get 15.12 volt, so that's the voltage knee point for this little small current transformer I have here. So this was a test made, which you can use Spherical 900 for. And now I would like to show you how to do overcurrent test. Yeah, very simple test with the Spherical 900. So I will continue with that. I need to reconfigure the generators. So I go here to do the generator configuration. I need to power up. I have a protection on this side. I need to power up this protection, and I will use the U4 to make the power up. And I would like to have a DC power voltage, and also I put the other voltage output in individual mode. So I just set it like this and said okay. Then I need I remove this jumpers I have here. It's looking like this. Very easy to connect on the Spherical 900. So I remove the cables for the CT magnetization test. I don't need them no more. Like this. Okay. So I will connect the power, which I would like to have to the protection, like this. Up here in the top, I have the connections for the free phase of current. So phase 1, 2, 3, and the neutral coming back from the protection. And on the left side, I have the binary input to with the trip from the protection. So everything is connected. I will go into the main instrument. This is the easiest instrument you can work with to do relay testing. And you can do timing test, and you can find thresholds. So I just show you very simple for you. I need to power up the relay here in this case. So I will give 110 volts to the relay like this. Now I can actually see the relay starting up. Also, in this case, actually, I don't need to, I shall just inject current. So I disconnect the voltage, switch them off, the voltage channels. And in this case, we can see it's set on 0.5 on phase 1, phase 2 is 6 amp, and phase 3 is 0.5. So I know the protection have the highest threshold is 5 amp, and we will have, if we are over 5 amp, we will have around 100 milliseconds. And the time is in the yellow field here. Then I just go and do the test. But first I need to do the on plus time to tell that I would like to measure the time. I click the play button. And then we have the result. It's 101 milliseconds. So this was a timing test done over current protection. Next step, I would like to show you if you would like to take several test points in the same test and save it and have a nice graph and so on, you can use the pre-fault fault instrument. And I activate the pre-fault fault instrument now. Here I do the setting for the pre-fault setting, how long time I would like to stay in the pre-fault setting. I do the setting for the fault setting. In this case, we start on 0.85. So I do the setting for that. And then when I would like to have several test points to save it in same test and have a graph, I'm using the new function we was releasing last year. We call it multiple timing test. And then you will use actually the knob here to do the tests. So I activate the multiple timing test, and I press the play button. And now actually, and I would like to change the current in phase number 1. So I select that one. Now I just press the knob, and you will have the time in the yellow field on the right down, the right side down on the page. So I can increase a little bit and the current. So I do a new injection and I get the trip time for that. And then I continue taking some more points. And I know this have a free thresholds. So we will, the first threshold is going up to 3 amps. I take some more current levels. So the first level is inverse, and the next level is 3 amps. Start at 3 amps. It's definite time. It should be 500 milliseconds according to the relay setting. And I take 2 shots on that thresholds. And actually we have 3 thresholds in this case. So I will go up to the highest threshold, and that's 5 amp. And this 5 amp, we will have around 100 milliseconds. So that's the threshold there. I take 2 points there. Okay, when I'm taking my points, I push the stop button. I can see the currents and the timing for all the currents levels, different levels. I can see the graph with the points, the test points I have made. Also, if I would like, I can have a reference graph to set according to the settings in the protection. So I can change, but now I have already set the settings which are in this protection. So, but it's possible to do the settings, whatever is set in the protection. So I have the first threshold, and the next threshold is definite time, and then we have the third threshold, it's also definite time. Then I go, and I can see in the big screen the test together with the reference graph, and visible I can see, okay, this is looking good. And then I'm fine with this. And then I go out, and also in the table I can see the reference setting time according to the reference graph I have set. And yeah, I finish the test. If I would like, I can save the tests with this, for example. So this was just a short look for you today. This is to give you an idea how Spherical 900 is working and how to work with Spherical 900. And it's a very broad use of the Spherical 900 actually. So I will continue with my presentation. So I do like this and do like this. So we continue with the presentation. And as I was said before, and Andrea was speaking about in Monday's session, it was a new standard released testing frequency protection. So protection relays need to measure frequency and activate on a certain values of a frequency or of a change of a frequency. So frequency relays from different manufacturers have responded to the same frequency variation in different ways while they have the same settings. So this is really difficult when you are out testing this with different manufacturer and this problem to have the same settings and variation in the algorithm of the relays algorithm to measure the frequency. So a new standard in testing frequency protection was made in February 2019. So the standard was created with a special attention to the new protection requirement from the smart grids. And the very important thing is to make a standardized smooth frequency ramp is a waveform where the frequency changes at any instant. It's not allowed to create a frequency ramp with pieces of waveforms and different at different frequencies. So when you test this over frequency protections, for example, you can do that in the ramp instrument, which have timing in Spherical 900. And you shall not do it with a pre-fault fault instrument, because this is not really according to the standard to simulate the right changes of frequency. So you use the ramp and you ramp it, the frequency, increase it, and the timer start, and the relay operate, you get the trip and you get the time. And that is very simple to create with Spherical 900, because in the ramp instrument you also have the timer to do the measurement of this. So Spherical 900 can test the frequency relays according to the new standard. And we have also made application note for testing frequency relays with Spherical 900, considering this new standard. And this could be found on our web page, megger.com. I would also would like to add that we have a software going together with the Spherical 900 to make reports in PDF format. and we was updating this last year, the version of this to be able and compatible with the new released software in Spherical 900. I would also like to highlight we have a lot of application notes where when you're doing tests with Spherical 900. For example, when you're testing current transformer testing, all tests you would like to do with the current transformer, you can do. It's described here how you do with Spherical 900. Also, testing impedance measurement based protection schemes. This is when you're testing distance protections. This is made mainly in manual mode. Testing direction of fault, we have testing negative sequence, unbalance over current protections, and so on. So this is possible to find on our web page, the Megger web page. And also I would like to highlight that we have some Spherical 900 videos, also possible to find on our web page, but also on YouTube. We have 2 general videos about Spherical 900. And also we have 48 how to do videos, how you do when you're testing relays with the Spherical 900. Also when you're testing current transformer and when you're testing voltage transformer. So this was actually my presentation today, and actually I'm asking you, Sylvia, to take over now.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Stefan. It was very clear. Content was very clear and useful and very practical at the same time. So we have some questions, and I can start with this one. What Megger has for digital substation relays, CTs and VTs?
For what Megger have for digital substations relay, CTs and VTs, actually for a digital substation, if they mean doing tests of with sample dwellers and IC 68150, then this is more related to, maybe the question is related to Marius, which are going to have his part about the SMRT on Friday.
Okay. So
yes,
I have a clarification from the asker. No, it wasn't a question. it was an appreciation about the product and the presenter. So nothing else by that. So another question is it possible to measure the secondary winding resistance of a CT by using the auxiliary variable DC generator of a Spherical 900?
If they're speaking about making burden tests and so on, this is possible to use a Spherical for doing these kind of tests. We can do all the tests on a current transformer with the Spherical 900.
Okay, another one. Just right now, what procedure test over current protection relays by Spherical could be done? Yeah, which procedure test?
Which procedure test could be done? I mean, it's depending on what kind of relay you have, and yeah. So actually, Spherical can do all of the tests because you are running the generators, current and voltage. You can change the frequency. You can make also change the phase angle, and so you can do and create whatever you would like to do. The only thing is when you're testing complicated relays, you don't get that much help in calculations. So you need to be a good skilled on doing the calculation by yourself. That's the main difference, I think, when you're working with very different, very complex relay tests. And also, Spherical, if you're testing transformer differential protection, sometimes, depending on the customer's requirement, you need to have 6 currents, and Spherical have only 3 currents.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned about testing Rokoff relay. Whether Spherical 900 can also do voltage vector shift relay?
Yes, it can. That's no problem to do that. I recommend to use the sequencer for that.
Mm-hmm.
We have the sequencer instrument in Spherical 900, and I recommend to do that with the sequencer instrument.
Okay. Another one. While manual and offline testing is key, is there online test that can be done to any of those relays?
Online test, it's depending a little bit what they mean with the online tests. You know, if you inject in the relay, you need to do it secondary mainly, and if you do it primary, then I mean it's also the switchgear need to be off and isolated. The disconnector need to be open, and so on. So online testing, it's more like yeah, it's another I think discussion to do online testing. This is more doing primary injection, doing secondary injection with the Spherical 900.
Mm-hmm. We have couple of more. I think we have a little more time. How accurate the outputs with low voltage or low current testing?
It is when you're testing low current. For example, if you have the output of the current output 10 milliamp, you have less than 0.5 milliamp in accuracy. That's an example. And yeah, on the current low current output. So, and in our data sheets, we have all the informations about in the specification of accuracy in the voltage and current outputs.
Okay.
But it's very accurate, yeah, so you can do a lot of, for example, testing sensitive earth fault. It's possible with the new generator, as we have developed the new current generator as we developed last year.
Okay, so why are self-powered relays difficult to test?
Because the self-powered take the power to themselves from the current circuit, and when they do that, they create a lot of harmonics, and that make a problem to measure. So if you inject, you think maybe you inject 1 amp in the protection, but actually you're not. And that we have taken care of with the new current generator we was releasing last year. So we can test all the self-powered relays.
Stefan, thank you so much for answering these questions, and more questions are coming. We don't have much more time, but they will be answered for sure. And our last message is, please don't miss part 3 next Friday. It will be very interesting and led by Mario Spitzer, talking about the SMRT family. And don't forget, there is a prize draw there for the participants. And we are very glad to have you all here, and we will wait for you in the next section on Friday. Thank you so much to Stefan, you, our attendees, customers, Niklas, Daniel, Alan, Andrea, and Marius. Thank you very much all to be there, and we will see each other next Friday. Have a good afternoon. Good evening.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.